Hello, everyone. My name is Juan Carlos Brando. Thank you so much for joining us today in the show of the attorney Margaret W. Wong and Associates. Today, we're going to have the attorney Margaret with us, answering all of your questions that you send live through Facebook or YouTube, and she's going to be happy to answer all of your questions today. So, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to write them down. Send the question in English. Today is only English questions, and the attorney Margaret W1 will be answering your question right away and absolutely free. So, thank you so much one more time for joining us. And if you can share this show with the attorney Margaret W. Wong, we would really appreciate it. We want to get us more people that we can reach out so that they can have important information uh, about what's going on in the immigration world. So let's welcome the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Hello, Ms. Wong. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, thank you.
And well, Ms. Wong, I saw this morning you were talking to the TV in Cleveland, which is awesome. And you were talking a little bit about what's going to happen with all of the countries that have a TPS if they was to be a change in the administration of the United States. What will happen with the TPS for Ukrainians, Haitians, Venezuelans, Nicaraguans, Salvadorians? What will happen to all of the TPS that those countries have received?
Right. So if they change, normally that's what I mean. If President Trump comes back, and if it may change, but I really think if Kamala Harris got elected, it probably won't change because America. One thing nice about America is that normally, if we already like El Salvador TPS has been on since January 14th of 2000, and 2001 has been 23 years. Now, Lebanon used to have DED, but no more. That's also because of Mary Rose Okar, who actually is a Cleveland, Ohio congressman. She retired, so Lebanon no more. But in the meantime, it may come back now because of what's going on. So um, you're right. So what happened to them? They became undocumented. They became illegal. But because they're from such horrible countries, they probably could file asylum. Like already now, the four countries, Haiti, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua, have no more parole extension. Same thing, just file for asylum.
Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong. And we have the first question coming in. This is a person from Mexico. It looks like he has been here for 25 years. And it says, "Hi, Mrs. Wong. I have been in the US for 25 years. I am originally from Mexico. I married a person that has a pending asylum. If she gets the asylum granted, could she apply for me? I was deported 2 times."
Absolutely, yes. Number one, you need to file for FOIA to see why you were deported. Number two, if everything is good, you may even want to do a credible fear new asylum because Mexico had changed, depends on what state you're from. Number three, we all need to read. Lately, there's a lot of memos, newspaper articles about gangs taking control of Mexico. There was a time that nobody talked about it. Mexico needs America tourism. Mexico also needs all the Mexico people who came to America to work and send US dollars back to their countries. So, but now if you read the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, a lot of these articles, there were big articles on the 10 important cities and the 5 states that were so bad. So I would read that. Um, Absolutely. If you're married to someone who have asylum pending, if she wins, you could file a 730. And also because you were deported twice, 730 probably will come back and ask for a response for additional information. But principal asylum grant. And if you file 730 within 2 years, absolutely you need to respond. And it's just like a U visa, T visa, S visa. Sometimes to overcome deportation, so does the 730, which means that you're a spouse of an asylee grant, not just an asylee pending. I have a lot of questions for you. Depends on what state you're from. Why were you deported? Could you do a Lynch Chavez? Because August 2021, new law came in, say if NTA have no date and time, you can do a motion reopen. So it depends. If you're already deported, you can no longer do that motion because it's an executed deportation order. But if you are not deported after the NITS case, I mean, after the final order, depends on when's the final order, and what did you lost a 1 10-year cancellation? I never, you were in absentia. So that's a lot of questions. It doesn't hurt to look at the FOIA, see if there's a way to do a motion to reopen to get your work permit, to file something new, but do not apply for something even though you're married to your wife, because a lot of our clients would ask, "Oh, can you file me as the spouse of my wife who has asylum pending?" I always like my clients to do a separate asylum case and not dependent on someone, because apparently your wife's case is doing very well. She also probably have a 5-year C8 work permit. I won't touch that case. Let her win, but you may do a separate. First thing you need that FOIA to see what's going on.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget that if you have an immigration case, you can call. The phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984 is the phone number that you need to call in order to make your appointment with the attorney Margaret W. Wong. Um, okay, so the next question is, I had a drug case 30 years ago. My wife is an U.S. citizen. I also have 3 children born in the U.S., all of them over 21. The last time I did the biometrics, the FBI came for me. Is there something I could do to get my legal status? It was a cocaine case with 100 grams. I changed my life and never went back to it.
Good job. So basically, depends on when you married. If you married before June 17th of 2024, if you came to America undocumented more than 10 years ago, definitely. Now, the PIP, the parole in place law, is stayed. I will still do the PIP, because if you get PIP, at least you get a 3-year work permit. Now, there are 3 things on PIP: marriage before June 17th, you have been here more than 10 years, but the third thing is a prompt, because if granted, you could adjust with a cocaine case of 100 gram. And on the other hand, though, you need to look at your final judgment entry, because there are few, the drug cases are abuse, possession, use, distribution, and sale. So if it's more possession or use case, it's not as bad as trafficking or distribution. Or so you need to really look at certified judgment entry. You also need to look at the arrest record, because criminal lawyers representing American citizens, and my husband was a pharmacist. He passed away. I always go to my husband when he was living and say, "Hey, this is the case. Can you explain to me what's level 3?" I mean, they have all sorts of drug cases. So you need to look. I mean, cocaine, of course, cocaine is tough. I would look at a certified judgment entry. I mean, how do we know it's cocaine? It could be just white powder, you know? I mean, this is serious. Not only have you been convicted of criminal, you also were deported for life. I mean, actually, it is for life. So these are serious stuff. I would look at it as any way to vacate the cocaine is more than 30 years ago. In Ohio, our firm is one of the first lawyers. Actually, I lost the case to go to court and try to vacate. I lost. But since then, I was very lucky. The legislator in Ohio started saying that motion to vacate could be filed, should be filed, if the judge did not give advisement of 3 prompts, all right? Exclusion, deportation, and cannot naturalize. So since then, Ohio, because I work and live in Ohio, so I know that each state have their laws on vacate. You don't want to expunge, you want to vacate. So why could we do a vacate from that state where you need to work with a local? If not, at least I can give you some ideas. Number 1, do your FOIA. Number 2, do your PIP. If it's approved, because we don't know, PIP will be approved. I mean, I won't wait. I would do it now, because there's another rumor saying that they're still attempting. I mean, they are. It's not a rumor. Accepting the I-131F But would it be approved? We don't know. But rumor is that as long as it's filed, whatever happens, hopefully before Biden leaves, this is his signature legacy. He may push it in, at least whatever is filed. It would have been approved or denied, but if it's not filed, it may not be. We don't know. These are all rumors coming. So if money is not a problem, I will file a PIP. Do the FOIA, get the PIP, get certified judgment, and they may not even have it. That'll be perfect. Get a letter from the court saying that, we don't have any transcript. We only keep transcript for 10 years. I couldn't find the certified judgment entry. Do your FBI report. I don't think you should give up. I think you're okay. I mean, it's so old. Like you said, you change your life. Another thing is you should also look at, do you qualify for 10-year cancellation? People who misrepresented, how we came to America, we use a phony American passport. Now, I'm not encouraging you to do that. But good moral character, 10-year non-LPR 10-year cancellation for you to be is the only thing that can, if you win that, you may be able to get residencia, even though you say you're an American citizen or phony marriages. This is the only thing is for you to be. So there are exceptions to everything. I would look at it, and get a good lawyer. And don't yell at lawyers, because sometimes I'm trying to be nice. I keep looking at it, and then sometimes I get complaints. Oh my gosh, it took you so long. Oh my gosh, why? Just tell me you can do it, and I want to pay you. It's not that simple. You need to dream about it, think about it, and sometimes revelation comes. Oh my gosh, I could do this case. It's not about you. It's also the lawyer is curious. The lawyer, you know what I'm saying? I have actually quite a few cases where I feel so bad because the client keep yelling at me. I'm like, oh, I don't deserve to get yelled at, because these are hard cases. You need to look at what you could do. It's not just, oh, you file something, you get a work permit. But thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And yeah, you are absolutely right. And yeah, some people just need to be patient and need to try to understand how the immigration system works so that they can be patient and wait. And also, they need to trust the attorneys, because I remember when I was back in my country and I was an attorney, some people would just want everything right now. They just want it right now. I filed it today and I just want it as soon as possible. And there is something we can do. We can file it as soon as possible, but no matter what, the system or the immigration service is going to take its time, because they have too many cases, and sometimes they also have a shortage of people working. So that's the one of the things that we need to learn, just to be patient and wait in the line when we are waiting for an immigration case. So if you want more advice with cases like this, just give us a call. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. The next question is, hi, how many people can I sponsor at the same time with the I-130 as a co-sponsor? I want
Yes,
one
absolutely.
for kids.
Right. You probably don't make enough. Don't worry about it. If you just bring the wife, you need 26,000. So for kids, absolutely file. If you're a citizen, you need to file for 5 people. If you're a green card holder and all the kids are really young, I just want to save some money. You need to file one I-130 and list all the kids when they go to immigration interview. Bring all the kids, because green card holder have for spouse could also tag along all the children. If you're a citizen, you need to for 5. And I'm sorry, because just I-130 now is about $500-600. And don't ask for low income. Number one. Number two is, for now, file it, because it will take years for them to come. I should say years, but it's 1.5 to 3 years, because after COVID it's very slow. At that time, try to find co-sponsor. There may be, and I have to check for you, because if you have filed tax return for more than 10 years, you may be able to use your old tax return to bring some people. I have to check that, but absolutely file the I-130, because at time of I-130, you don't need the tax return. It's only at time of interview overseas you can that they need the 864. That's when all the tax return come in now. Another way to do it I don't know where you're from. If they're from Mexico, you may want to look for have them go on the kiosk and type in CBP1. CBP1 means that they can come legally on parole. If you're a citizen, once they come the second day, you can file for green card for them. Um, so that's one way to get around that. If you're from the other countries like Colombia, Venezuela, go on the USCIS.gov and see what country they have a family reunification. So file the I-130. Once the I-130 is approved, go to the American Embassy. American Embassy automatically will send out a letter inviting them to come, so they don't have to wait for all those DS-260 and stuff like that. That's another way to make it faster. There's a lot of President Biden is giving us programs for people to come legally and don't have to wait in line. In my days, when I was a young lawyer, we don't have such a thing that people can come before the line is up. That's why American immigration is going places if we get the good people to be president of the United States of America.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. Don't forget the phone number is 216-279-3984. 216-279-3984. This next question says, "Hi, attorney. I got my TPS approved. Can I file for my parents,
No.
or can I help them get a tourist visa so that they can come visit me?"
I'm so sorry. TPS, you can only become a citizen, apply for your parents, but you have TPS, you can get parole. I don't know where your parents are. Maybe, don't, Mr. Juan Carlos, doesn't Venezuela have the I-134? He can just do a I-134 to invite the parents, right? The sponsorship.
Yeah, but the thing is, she says or he says that they don't want to come to stay; they just want to come visit. So the question is, if
Oh,
this person with the TPS can send like a letter or
oh yeah, yeah.
something to
You
invite their
do.
parents to come visit.
Correct. You do the DS-16. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Juan Carlos. You need to go to the usdos.gov site, maybe on pencil, help them fill everything out wherever they are. They will have to go pay. They need to file it themselves. You don't file it because it'll be denied, because tourist visa is no ties to America. On the form, they're asked you if any immediate relatives. Yes, TPS is hard to get tourist visa, but Mr. Juan Carlos is right. Give your parents an invitation letter saying that you have TPS, you would like to invite them. They don't want to come as a tourist. If not, you could also do the I-134, but you need to check the USCIS.gov and USDOS.gov. On tourist visa, it's USDOS.gov and do the DS-160. But there may be other programs on visit, but those, like Mr. Juan Carlos say, are more for work permits, but your parents don't want. So I don't know if your parents are from now. Are they living in Colombia? If they have, I mean, if they could afford to leave from Venezuela, which means that they may not be poor, have them go apply for tourist visa, but it's difficult for Venezuelans now to come legally on tourist visa, and I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's really hard because it could be they never know. They always think that we're gonna stay
Right,
here, and
right,
that's the main problem.
right.
So, and Miss Wong, what if I think this person that she wants to bring is a pastor? Uh,
Oh, do our visa.
yeah. So, could a church invite them to
Yes,
come and maybe try to facilitate the
right. Or
tourist?
maybe just a one-time visit for religious worker. Another way is get the church. Hey, Mr. Juan Carlos, you should answer this. Or get the church to do instead of you do an invitation letter, get the church to do an invitation letter and do the DS-160 for the parents to come give speeches to different churches of the same denominational. You can get a tourist visa to give speeches.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. That's
Mhm.
actually good. Okay, thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. The next question is, "Hi, attorney. I am from India. I work in Dunkin'. Can I?
We can get free Dunkin' Donuts. I love Dunkin' coffee and Dunkin'. Okay, give us free coffee. Yeah, that'd be nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, I like Dunkin' Donuts a lot. So, um, this person wants to get a perm or a work visa. Is that possible for a person that
Yes,
works there?
Any time, this is a very good question. Duncan, any hotel, motel, Duncan, hospitality places, they can always do a perm for you, but any good lawyer would ask for the tax return of the owner and make sure number 21 of the US tax return have more than maybe 70,000, which most Duncan will have because Duncan is highly regulated by Home Office. You can do a perm, but perm takes itself only took 1.5 years. I went 40, takes only 3 months. The perm is because you're born in India. But if your husband or wife is born in Pakistan, Sri Lanka, it takes only about 1.5 to 2 years. Go to open from India, it takes 10 years. Now, if you came to America undocumented or illegally or came legally but already out of status, I would not be bothered with perm because perm only gives you a green card or residencia if you're legally in America. If you're illegal already, then don't bother with a perm or visa work. I don't know what that means. That means if from Mexico or you're Mexican, that's why a lot of Chinese now instead of going to Canada because it's getting more expensive to get Canadian landed immigrant visa and citizen and then come to America to do an e-visa, or that's what a lot of Indians and Chinese are doing. They go to Canada, become citizens, and then come to America. Now they're also going to Mexico, or they go to Belize and get their passports. So they do because that's why there was a time that you have countries selling passports for like 50,000, 60,000. Now it could sell passport for 200,000 or 300,000 just to get a passport. From that passport, they can do an e-visa. I don't know if that's what you mean because there's nothing called visa work. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I think they are just looking if they could file a work visa. But the first question is, how did you come into the United States? Because if they came on a tourist visa or uh, student visa, maybe they need to do the transition. But if they came through Canada, then it's a different scenario. So you just need to talk to the attorney Margaret W. Wong, and she will give you an answer to that question. The phone number is 216-279-3984, 216-279-3984. I think some people give for like a fact that Trump will win. We still don't know. The election is still going, and we have maybe 23 days until everybody can vote and make the right decision. This person is asking, will Trump mass deportation affect spouses of citizens? Thank you.
Yes. Anybody, in fact, me who is a naturalized citizen, they have a right to go, don't have ideas. They have a right to go through any naturalized citizen paperwork and see if there's any material misrepresentation. Now, it's just what they did with a lot of Muslim imams, even though they're American citizens, they're denaturalizing them. Now, the question then is if we get denaturalized, do we become green card? Because normally, so for example, you win a case in BIA or lose the case, it goes back to the IJ with the next status. But so it depends. So if they denaturalize even US citizens, could they, do we people like us become illegals or do we get our green cards back? That's one gray area, but I'm not answering your question. The real answer is yes. If the spouse came to America undocumented, and if PIP is not approved, they could deport spouses. Obama did actually. Obama deported a lot of people, removed a lot of people with final orders that were spouses of American citizens, resulting in people divorcing. Children didn't have a father. The only one who did not is Biden, because Biden started with the list, like if you have young children, you should not be deported. If you are a companion or a housekeeper of old people, you should not be deported. So that was the time that everybody undocumented tried to find a job as a housekeeper of old people. So actually, Obama had that, but at the end, he wants to pass the immigration bill, so immigration just deport. I just met a Latino person. The mother is from Mexico. They have 13 kids together, four American citizens, nine from Mexico. They all came here. The mother was deported 5, 6 years ago under Trump or Obama. And so unfair because exactly that we have four USC born children. The husband finally got a green card from one of the USC children, but the mom was deported. She was picked up on a Friday, deported on a Monday. So I asked him, I said, do you have a good lawyer? They said yes, but the lawyer didn't have a chance because by the time they paid the lawyer, she was deported that Monday. I'm telling you, it's bad out there. And most people, I hope, because this is an English program, most people who are American citizens or green card, we don't remember. Like, that's why I remind myself, even though I became a citizen, I got my green card years ago and I came in 69, we have to remember. It's always like the Jewish people say, you have to remember Holocaust. You have to remember how the state, now, I'm not trying to get into politics, but you have to remember that China, now we have two China. How do we have two China? And you have all these Chinese in Singapore, in Malaysia, in Indonesia, in Korea, and now we have Koreans or Chinese citizen, because ultimately the world is getting smaller. We have to learn how to coexist. And we have to remember our history. We have to remember how we came to America. I was, I used to clean toilets. I used to, but we did it. I was a chambermaid in the Catskills. And that became a waiter, the only woman that served in the Catskills hotel. And then I became a head waitress. I still kept my tip list. I still remember now that whenever one of our staff members come to say, "Oh, I need better cases. I need more cases." I remember in my days, I used to assign those. We have 4 stations. We have like 12 people working in our restaurant. Our restaurant, my boss's restaurant. I love my boss. So these are things that, and I know I talk too much. We have to remember who we are, where we come from. Always remain humble, always help people, always smile. You cannot lose your value or your character because suddenly you became an American citizen. Suddenly you became a president. Suddenly, you marry 3 times. You cannot do that. This is America. This is where the dreams of the whole world is to come here.
Thank you so much, Ms. Wong, for this answer. And well, our time is up for today. So thank you so much for having me. Thank you so much for sharing all of your knowledge and your good thoughts. And see you next Wednesday.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And don't forget, the phone number is 216 279 3984. 216 279 3984. Attorney Margaret W. Wong and Associates. She has over 47 years of experience working in the immigration field. Thank you so much. Have a good lunch and see you next time.